Hey, almost welcome here. So today I'm going to take you through how to create constants in Python. If you're new here, please and enjoy this video, subscribe to my channel. My name is Ronnie Atuhaire Afrobytex. That's what the other name that you could call me. So let's get started. So to create constants in Python, it is way straight and easier process since we don't have a constant keyword in Python. Or final keywords from other different languages. You realize that there's a way how to declare constants. So constants are basically also identifiers, just like variables. If for example we've created a variable here called let me call it bed, maybe the type of bed, maybe it is a 4 by 4. So if you have this variable here, this variable is can be changed during the program. You can reassign it to something else, maybe to a 5 by 6. But if you have something like maybe pi, if you have pi, which is a variable, and you don't want it to be changed over time, then that becomes a constant. A constant is basically an identifier of memory location where that value is stored, and just trying to tell the program where that thing is in the location in memory. So that's what basically identifiers are, and constants don't change, so because pi will remain pi, it will remain 3.14. so how do you achieve this in Python? So to achieve this in Python, there are 3 easy ways I'm going to show you. The first and quick and easiest method is to actually put this in capital letters. Now you're going to ask me, won't it change? Can't I reassign it to something else? Yes, that's true. This is because this is basically a conversion. By conversion, I mean it's just agreed down publicly by Python stars or people who program in Python, that this is a way how to declare programs that want to do constants or to deal with constants. So whenever you see a variable that takes on full capital letters, just know they are constants. So but you can go ahead and reassign this. It doesn't mean that it won't be assigned to something else. It can, but it's just a conversion, because if you run and you just say pi can be something else. Here can be 3.20. so if you print out pi, let's see what comes out. Is it going to be the first or the second variable? So let's run. So let me use the terminal. Oh, I was doing some stuff, so let me just clear it first. So if I test.py, this brings me 3.2. It means the reassignment happened. So that means this is just a conversion, as I've said, but this is the way how you can the first method how you can declare constants. The other way is you can create these constants in a constant.py file. You put all these constants in that file. In that way a programmer will know that basically they're all constants. So the other method is to create you can create a function and call it maybe pi. After creating a method, function and calling it pi, maybe this method will only return 3.14. So it means to use pi everywhere, you'll have to call this method like this. So that's it, basically another method how you can create constants in Python. That's the drawback with this method. You have to call this variable like this, a function, every time you want to use it. So let me take you to another straight method that you could use without pip installing anything. You can just say from collections import named tuple. So tuples, we all know that they are immutable. You can go ahead and maybe try to use those tuples to see how you can achieve that immutability. So I'm going to call it, let me call it C. Then after calling this, you just say named tuple. Let me do C. It's going to be maybe take on pi and maybe E. so for me to be able now to declare this, let me give them values. So this is basically how to create it. You're just creating this named tuple, then you're giving it these values in your list. So these are named constants, you would call them, and then you're going to give them values. So to give them values, you just say c dot 3.14 comma, maybe that's value for pi, then 2.718, that's the value for e. So let's try to print and see if we can access this constants dot pi. We're trying to see if we can access this. So let's go to our terminal, call this. C is not defined. Did you mean C? Oh, oops, it's supposed to be C actually, small c. So let's run again. You see that we can actually have a variable here called 3.14. So let's see if we can actually see let's see if we can actually change this variable of constants. Let me copy this here, then let's try to reassign it to something else, maybe a 20, and you print out again. You see that you get an error. It says you can't set attribute because this is a constant. So basically that's it. Let's try to access e, and we print e here. So it's the same thing, we cannot reassign. So yeah, that's basically another way how you could achieve constants in Python. So let me just comment this out to avoid the errors. Let me give you this is a method. I will not give it to you fully, but you could go and try it out. This is the last method I'm going to show you. It's my challenge to you. If for example you have a class, if you're dealing with OOP, and this class maybe has a constructor, and this constructor is like this maybe, and it doesn't take in anything, maybe on let me just do this off. Yes. So one way to declare variables protected, I will explain. You just have to use a single underscore, then maybe give it a value, maybe for example orange. Then another way is to create private variables or private identifiers. Then we could just maybe call this let me give this real value here after the underscore. Let me call it food, and let me call this also food. So these two variables are different, though they print the same thing, orange. So if you create, so in Python we have almost all languages have public, private and protected methods of variables or attributes. So this here is actually only accessible within this package, this module, or all instances. For example, if you create a class inheritance of maybe man that inherits from human, let's pass for now. This will be accessed by man, but this will not be accessed by man. It will only be accessed within this class. So it means it's protected. This is private. It's only accessible within the entire module, the entire inheritance, or any instance that's actually being created from the subclass. Every subclass that comes through will actually have access to this, but will not have access to this orange here of double underscore. So go ahead and create instances and see how you can use how you can achieve this data hiding in classes. So that's it for today's video basically, and You can go ahead and also read about accessors, setters, mutators, and getters. They're all the same thing. Accessors and setters and getters, you just basically set or you only get the value. So that's it basically for this video. If you've enjoyed, please subscribe. See you in the next video.